Certainly are two grand women of
Thank
Branford
you.
Hills.
Thank you very much.
And you know, just the other few minutes ago, you were talking about how your two families really started together years ago.
Sure they did.
Mama, can you tell us something about that?
They knew each other in Italy.
Oh, they did. Where are your parents from?
Yeah.
Yeah. She knows. Yeah.
They're both from the same place?
Yeah. In fact, that's a little city. I think they all were, lived.
I think they all knew each other.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
Because when your brother went to Italy,
You met my aunt there.
yeah. She was.
And they met the Crusoe.
The Caruso,
Was it cousin or?
Yeah, my cousin.
Now, Rose, was this both your parents were from Yangon?
Right. Yeah.
And
Oh, your father too.
I think so. I don't know. Was it?
I don't know.
That's in Caserta?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he was. I think he
Oh,
was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's in Caserta?
Yeah.
What is Caserta, the region?
I think so.
I
Province.
guess so,
I think it's the
yeah.
province of
Province.
Caserta.
Yeah.
Right. So, Mama, when did your parents first come to America? Do you know the year?
Well, wait a minute. My sister Louise was born in 1900, and she was maybe in 1889. No, 1898.
Mm-hmm. And how come they both ended up coming together? Didn't they come on
Oh,
the same boat?
they knew each other in Italy. My mother was supposed to come to America when my father was going with my mother. When my father heard that my mother was going to America, right away he came too. So my grandfather, my grandmother, and my mother and my father, and Mrs. Gentile was my mother's sister. Mrs. Bonomi was my mother's sister. They're all dead now. Who else? And my uncle Jim Streeter.
And
There was 7 of them.
Do you remember the name of the boat?
Yeah, where? I remember
Which means
that.
what? Doesn't it mean
Water.
war?
Huh.
And where did they land? Did they land in Ellis Island, or you don't even know?
That I don't know. They
Do
must
you
have.
know what they
Well,
did when they
lived
were
in
there?
Massachusetts, didn't they?
No.
Right.
No, they came to New Haven first. They went to Hamden, Schutzen Park,
Oh, I see.
because my grandfather had a brother there.
Do you know what they did in Italy? What were they?
Farmers.
Farmers?
And
What kind of farming
And
was
then
it?
my father's sister, Mrs. Malola Giuseppelli, she lived in North Adams. And my father was working on the farm. He had a little argument with my grandfather, and he went to North Adams. So my mother went there too, and that's how my sister Victoria was born in North Adams.
And then your mother moved to...
Yeah, my mother
Yeah.
was there too. She
Your
was
mother
Lived
was
in
in
North
North
Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she told me.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Do you know how your mother?
I know my aunt baptized your mother.
Oh, yeah?
Which
Well, I
one?
guess,
Which aunt was that?
I guess when
The
she came
Malilla
here,
woman.
Up
She
in
did my
North-
father's sister.
that's where my mother and father went first, to North Adams. Then they came to New Haven. I guess because of your family.
Now, were your parents already married when they came to America, Rose?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, they got married in Italy?
Yeah, I had another sister and she died over here.
What was her name?
Before Mary. I don't know her name.
And that was in North Adams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they told me when I was small.
Yeah.
So it could be. Yeah.
And then, do you know what kind of work your father did up in North Adams?
I think he always did farm
What?
work. Yeah.
No, not in North Adams. They had the, what it's, make the
Shoes?
cloth.
The mills?
Cloth, yeah.
Did they have shoes too then?
No,
Oh, they do
they
now.
all worked in
Oh,
the
they do now
factory
before.
there.
Oh.
All right, so
Okay.
then when your
Yeah.
parents came to New Haven area, both her parents lived with your mother? Your
No,
father?
no, just the mother.
Oh, and then he
So
came?
I don't think they were
don't know.
married. No, they weren't
Oh,
married.
they weren't married then?
No.
No? Oh.
So
See,
maybe,
I didn't know much about that, really. I think you know more about that.
Yeah, because
they
your
weren't
mother was
married then?
no, because your mother was she lived with my mother.
And,
Oh,
Rose, what are your parents'
Oh,
names? What are your parents' names?
Angelina and Vincenzo.
yeah.
What they call them?
Angelina Cito. Oh, she must have came with my uncles then. See, I didn't know much about that. You know?
So who were your uncles? What were their names?
Tony Aceto.
Yeah.
Oh, would that
doesn't
be Aunt Laura's husband?
Yeah.
And Julius.
So we
And
are
Julia-
related.
And Julia's husband. Yeah, and
Yes,
Julia's
we-
husband.
I'm here too, related.
Yeah.
And your parents' names, Mama?
Yeah.
Your parents' names?
You don't know my parents?
Well,
But
for
for
the
the-
sake of
Oh,
posterity.
Alexander Caruso and Philomena Lostrito.
Straight up.
And how many brothers and how many children did they have?
Who?
Your parents?
7.
7?
Louise, Victoria, Antoinette, Mary, Ralph, Vincent, and Anthony.
I thought they lost one too.
Oh, yeah, but he was only a baby.
So we didn't. And,
I don't know. Well, I think his name was Ventoli too.
and Rose, how many
Two.
children did your
Mhm.
parents have?
9, must have been 9.
And what were their
4
names?
girls and 4 boys. I think
The
the
one
other,
that died.
and the one that died was the girl. 5 girls.
So what were their names?
Mary, Jenny, and
And Rose.
Rose. I'm
That's
Rose.
4.
I'm Rose.
The brothers.
The brothers Dominic, Pat, Frank, and Joe. 4. 4 is 8.
And the one that,
Oh, I-
the one
And-
that died.
And you, how many of your brothers or sisters are still living, Rose?
Just one, Joe.
So it's just
Yeah.
yourself and Joe
Yeah,
living
How's
now?
he doing?
He says, once he, says, when he-
Yeah. It's his heart
so-so.
too.
He's
It's
so-so.
His
Yeah.
heart, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now,
He
does
has-
the daughter
yeah.
live?
The daughter lives
Upstairs.
upstairs. Yeah, and she's like chilled most of the time.
And how's
She
the
had a
priest?
heart attack.
The
Oh,
daughter,
she
she's
did?
younger than I am,
Yeah.
isn't
She
she?
had, oh yeah.
Do you know how
She-
old your-
How old is she?
She's younger than me.
She's younger than
Then
me.
she's younger than I am.
Yeah.
Sure, she's younger than her.
Yeah.
And how old are you,
She's
Joe?
older than me.
She's older than me.
I'm 48. Shall we share?
Shall we
Shall
try?
we share our ages?
Okay.
How old are you, Joanne?
I'm 44.
44.
I'm 48.
I'm 88.
And I'm 75.
Boy, we have a lot of years here.
A lot of years.
Especially
Right.
mine.
Yeah.
Mary, where were you born?
Well, that's-
You were born
That's
in East
good.
Haven?
Anymore.
I was born on Sutton Star Place in East Haven.
When?
March 15, 1907.
And Rose, where and when were you
December
born?
7th, 1919, across the street
Oh, so you were born in
in
that?
Branford.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
really?
And West Main, what, it was called Boston Post Road then?
Was Boston Post Road then, yeah.
So you never lived, oh, yes, you did. You lived in
Well,
Florida.
we
Yes,
lived in
right,
Florida, lived
right.
in South Carolina for a year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Your husband was in the service?
When we got married, yeah. I went to South Carolina, you didn't know, Spartanburg.
And you lived alone, or your husband was in the service?
He was in the service, but he used to come home at night. The Camp Croft
Oh,
was right
right.
there. You know, it was about 5-6 miles away. He'd come home at night. He didn't want to stay in camp, you know. And,
So this is
Yeah.
the 50th anniversary of the war ending. Do you remember where you were
Right.
when you heard the war ended?
well, I was in South Carolina.
Do you remember what you were
World War
doing?
II. What was I doing?
Yeah.
I was
People
working
always-
in the store in South Carolina
The candy store?
in 5 and 10.
Oh, yeah.
Silvers.
So if you were on, was it an
Yeah.
army base?
Yeah.
So
It
there must-
wasn't, no, it was South,
Oh, it was outside?
Spartanburg.
Okay.
Spartanburg, South Carolina.
So was there a great deal of celebration then, or?
Yeah, well, everybody was glad, you know, but it's a small city. And
Do you
everybody
remember,
was glad it was over.
do you remember the end of the war?
Yeah, of course.
I
Poor
stayed,
little
I stayed 2 nights alone because he went to North Carolina when he got his discharge.
I mean, when the war
Yeah,
ended, he was
when the
able
war
to get
ended, yeah.
his discharge.
He had to go
That's
to North
good.
Carolina.
Well, it was good for the Pompano family, the
Oh,
end of the
yeah.
war.
Yeah.
Now, Mary, how did you end up on Branford Hills if you were born in East Haven?
Because my father had property here, this land. When they came from it, when him and Mr. Gentile bought it together, so they divided, it was 16 acres each.
And what did they do on the land?
Planted tomatoes and String
fun,
beans,
yeah.
peppers, potatoes. Yeah,
And then they sold it at the market, or they
yeah,
had
they
their
went to
own?
the market, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And your dad was a farmer too, Rose?
Yeah, he worked for Cook's in
Yeah.
Guilford,
The Hilltop.
Hilltop.
Oh, really?
He always worked there. I think
He's
your
still-
brothers did too, didn't they?
No, the
No?
boys didn't know.
So what was
Just
the
my
first
father.
house up on Branford Hills?
What?
The first house on Branford Hills?
Wasn't the first Gentile, I think was the first, was it?
No,
Or
no.
Streetom?
I
The
think-
Streetos?
I think you went the Streetos, something's
Oh,
on the
yeah?
Streetos, yeah.
Oh,
No, not the Gentiles, because the
oh, I thought he
Gentiles,
was here first.
no.
And so this was like just this was like a paved road, or
Oh,
what?
it was
It
terrible.
was one road, you know, the
Whoa.
old road was the main road. It was
Rocks
like that.
and mud, and it was
It was
way
like
up
that.
high.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
It was high, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So then when did they make it the main road?
Gee, that I don't remember what
I
year. I
don't
remember
know
when
what
they did it.
year, I must have been about,
Well, where did the old road,
I must have been about 10 years old when they started making the road better.
the old road went that way, but where did it still came out over
It still
here?
came out over here,
Oh.
yeah.
But the main road really was in Short Beach, right?
Sure, but no.
No?
No, this would
Oh.
all be Route 1, I would
This
think.
was
Oh.
Route 1 all the time.
So I would think this is still a main thoroughfare, but it
Mm.
probably wasn't
Yeah.
well
Yeah,
constructed
yeah.
road.
And then the Demkuskis were up here, weren't they?
After us. I think my father and Streeter
Were the first
ones, yeah.
Here.
And then Zahesky came. Yeah.
So where did you go to school?
Something
So,
started school.
Joe School.
Do you remember the names of your teachers?
Yeah, Miss Rezgian and Miss Imprati.
Oh, mine was Miss Goodman and Miss Brownberg.
And we had 3 grades in each, first, second, and third, you know, one room. And then 4th, 5th, and 6th in the other room. There's 2 rooms down there,
Yeah.
that's all.
It was right on the lake?
Right near the lake there, there's a house there now.
How did they, do you remember
You know,
how
when
they,
you go down the hill there?
they were able to build that school, Mama?
Yeah, my uncle gave them the land. And they gave them, and they built the school there.
Oh, your uncle owned that
Yeah,
land down there?
yeah.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
uncle?
Which one?
Streeto.
Streeter? Oh, yeah? Oh, that's right, the Streeters, yeah.
Do you have any stories about when you were in school? What about when you first went to school, Mama? Weren't you calling for your sister Louise?
Yeah, but that was in East Haven.
I remember I was scared when I first went to school. I was running all around the room. And when I see the nurse come in, I'd get it bad.
How old were you when you first went to, they didn't have kindergarten?
Well, it must have been about 6.
No, 5 years old, 5, 6 used to go there.
6, yeah.
Oh.
6 years old.
And you used to
Yeah.
walk with your brothers and sisters?
Yeah. Deep
That was-
snow, yeah.
Oh, I know. it.
Snow up
Yeah.
tar, window sills.
Used to have snow about
Yeah.
this deep all the time.
Yeah,
Now we get about this much.
I know.
And they close the schools
Yeah, I know.
I
down.
remember.
But we had to go to school.
We had to walk with boots on and everything.
How was your teachers? Did your teachers live
They were-
around here?
No, they
Miss
were from
Rushton,
New
she
Haven.
had the,
Branford.
yeah, you know Mary
I was
Jastremski.
gonna say, I thought that
That
was
was
Mary
her.
Tisco's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was nice. She made me a cup of tea one morning because I was froze. My hands were froze when I got in
We should
school.
make it in school.
Yeah, in school. She made it for me. She was nice.
And then you came back for lunch, or you stay there, or?
We should bring a sandwich, I think.
And when was
Yeah.
school, like from 8 to?
8 to
3,
3.
wasn't it?
8 to 3, yeah.
You had to do a lot of
Teacher.
memorizing in
Yeah.
school, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
We
some of-
used our brain. We didn't have computers.
Yeah.
Yeah?
The brain is the best computer.
That
Used to
is.
learn-
Don't you
learn
think
the-
that's the best?
Used to
Yeah.
learn the poems by heart.
By heart?
Do you know any? Come to mind?
Not really, no. Yeah.
What
Can't think of
about
any right now?
About, going with the alphabet, adopt for your motto, I
A
can,
for, yeah.
adopt
A
for,
for your motto, I can and I must, and victory is yours. B, be true in thought,
true,
true in deed,
and in mine.
Something like
G,
that.
good, better,
Yeah,
best.
that's good, I have to remember
And
some.
see Constance,
Constant, something, I don't know, but you
Yeah.
taught me the one with G. Good, better, best.
Never let it rest till your
Oh,
good
yeah?
is better and your better best.
Oh, that's
L,
so nice.
lost between midnight and,
Lost between sunset, 2 golden hours, each set with 60 diamond a minute. Each minute, oh gosh, what is it now?
Very good.
Oh, I remember all those
Yeah,
things.
good.
And what are those? Those are mottos?
they go with the alphabet, and
Oh,
that's
yeah?
how they were taught the alphabet. A.
Oh, yeah.
A, B, C, D.
Now, you see, my mom is 13 years older, so even in that time, they,
In that time it
they
was
did different
different, I
things.
learned the ABC.
Do you remember what books you used? What the name of your readers
ABCs
were?
and all that. I can't remember.
What they had,
the
what
books.
are those books?
let's
The
see.
Goody book,
Yeah, now see,
There's famous ones that
you're
are.
13 years older
Yeah.
than me, and see, that was a difference too,
Yes,
because I learned
yeah.
what ABC. Yeah.
you know, and didn't you have to learn a lot of the poems and, you know,
By
forward
heart,
there,
yeah,
yeah.
And
right.
everything we had to memorize.
Yeah, right.
When I worked in South Carolina, the girls were in high school, they used to come into the register like this to give the change. Yeah. See, I mean,
So in other words,
they
you had
said
to,
they
you
never
had to
made us-
memorize the
Yeah.
times tables and
Right,
addition and
Yeah.
subtraction.
We had to memorize
Mhm.
everything.
Did you start the morning with the Pledge of Allegiance and to
Yeah.
sing?
And the prayer.
Yeah, and the
Oh, you
prayer.
would
Used
prayer.
to put our
Yeah.
head on our desk.
Yeah.
Mhm. And what prayer would it be? Would it be the Lord's Prayer? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
would the teacher ever read from the Bible?
No.
No, we don't, actually, when we were little, we had the,
No, they didn't do it.
you didn't have the Lord's Prayer?
Yeah,
I
but you
did.
didn't read it from the Bible.
Mrs. Rice's class we did.
Right.
Did you ever have Mrs. Rice?
You
Yeah.
don't say prayers now in school, do you?
No,
No.
no.
That's a shame.
Well, I
Right.
think you can, you know, you
Yeah.
pray silently all the time.
Everybody can do their own
Yes,
prayers.
you know, the
Yeah.
silent moment of
Yeah.
meditation they have, but I don't, I think that has to come from the home.
Yeah.
I don't really think it belongs in school,
Yeah.
but that's,
Well, yeah, well,
And then from that school, you went to.
I went to Laurel Street School, 7th and 8th grade. Then I quit.
We went to Shore Beach.
You went to Shore Beach, yeah?
Eighth
Antoinette went to
grade.
Shore Beach, they went to Shore Beach.
And how you had to walk down there too?
Down the car line in East Haven, and we used to take the trolley to Shore Beach School.
Huh.
Yeah, Antoinette did too, yeah.
what did you do at the end of school? Did they have any kind of celebration to mark the ending of school, like any picnic?
No.
Yeah, we used to
did.
go to
You did?
Milwaukee when
Yeah.
that song
I
started.
used to
Do you
go to-
remember?
Yeah.
You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah, we used to go to
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Oh.
And you said you used to go to the swimming hole?
Yes, we used to go with Ray and, and Katie D'Amico. We used to go down there swimming.
Where?
Down the swimming hole on Penn Road, down Penn Road there. There's a swimming hole, I think it's near Bourbon Drive down there.
Yeah?
We used
Oh,
to
I
go
didn't know
down
that.
there with them. We used to bring the lifesaver thing, they had, it was like a course they had. They used to card it.
Was it like a little lake?
It was a hole, big
Yeah.
deep hole, yeah. I think it's still there someplace. Must be like, in the woods there near
Mm.
Shore Beach. Behind Bourbon Drive, you know,
Yeah.
that road.
Do you think they should have knocked, that Laurel Street School down?
No, I don't think they should.
I mean, that was, I think,
Yeah.
wasn't it celebrating its it was
Yeah.
100 years old, that's
It's,
too bad.
yeah.
Did you ever go to Laurel Street School?
I went to Salton Stall, Shore Beach, and Branford High. The high school was on,
Where Sliney School is now, is it?
Was that it? Science School?
wait a
Was it
minute,
in
you know where the
Harrison?
library is,
That's
that's the.
Laurel Street School. That is, that's, Laurel Street School used to be the high
Yeah,
school.
used
No,
to be
across
high
from
school,
that.
Yeah,
So you actually
Yeah,
went there, you
yeah.
didn't realize it.
yeah, you did go there, but,
Yeah, one year to Branford High.
And then what did you
Yeah.
do? Didn't,
Yeah, they wanted me to go to school all night. Then I went for a hairdresser, and I went for 1 week, and I quit.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Where was that?
In New Haven.
I quit, they didn't even know it.
I didn't want to go.
Your
They were-
parents didn't know?
The girls and Pat, it was Matt when he found out I quit.
Now, did you go to work? What did you
I
do?
went to a shirt factory after though. I was only 14 when I quit. You had to be 16. So then I went press.
What'd you do in the shirt factory? You pressed?
I used to turn collars, you know the
Oh.
collars.
Yeah, yeah.
And then afterwards I went on pressing.
That was hard work.
$7 a week was a lot of money then.
Yeah.
Huh?
Now they make $7 an hour, and they don't think that's
And
enough.
I know.
What about you?
Yeah.
What was your first job? Did you work outside the home?
I never worked until lately.
What did you do? You load?
I did like heck. They used to have me stay home and do housework.
That's the job, doing housework, sure.
Because we lived down the farm, but we were clean farmers. I gotta brag now. We weren't dirty farmers.
That's right. That's true, that's true.
But you
It
made
wasn't-
all your own macaroni and bread and everything?
Huh?
Or you made your own macaroni and
Yeah,
bread and...
my mother did all the cooking, I did the
Uh-huh.
cleaning. Because there was a family in New Haven, they always used to come on the farm. So this lady had a daughter, so she said, come on. Oh, she says, no, the farmers are all dirty, I don't wanna go there, because they always used to go on Parati's farm in Woodbridge, and they were dirty and a lot of flies.
Yeah, they're wealthy
Like
now.
Oh, yeah, oh, really, yeah,
The
oh.
Crusoes may have been clean, but they're poor.
But, she didn't wanna come, so she came. When she went home, the mother said, oh, I wanna go there again, they got a nice house, it's nice and clean, and East
Yeah.
Haven, you know,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
a nice house.
Oh, that was, it still
Yeah.
is nice, we go by there once in a while,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, the one where the Aditables live now, is that it? What was it? The
Spitz.
Smith? And then who was the guy that used to babysit for it?
Oh, Olson.
The Olsen. Well, then how did you do that? How did you start babysitting for the Olsen?
Because we moved up, from there, we moved up here. And they had bought the place, and, that's how they wanted to know if I would take care of the kids. And I did.
And how did you get to the Olsons from
I
here?
used to walk.
Then you worked in Eklund's, didn't you?
Yeah, I
The
worked
shirt
a year.
factory.
I worked a year in their, Eklund's, but
Yeah.
this was after I got married.
Yeah, this was after, oh, yeah,
Right, that was when I was in 7th grade.
And we went down to Eklund.
We walked down to Eklund's.
yeah. Oh,
She
yeah.
went in for the interview.
Yeah,
And I met Mary Mangilla, the both of us got a job together.
oh, yeah.
Mary Mangillo being your sister-in-law, right?
Oh, there, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, right, right.
Mary is your sister, right? That's funny.
Right.
And then the two of you went that afternoon, you had to get physicals,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you got a job with Mary?
Yeah.
Oh.
but you did not like that Eklund's.
No, I hated it. And then they had a big layoff and we got laid off.
Oh.
So I was called, but I didn't want to go back. So I went down there, and they said that they had a job for me. I said, where? He said in the shirt factory. I said, oh, I didn't like it. She said it's a nice job, and she says, and the foreman is very nice. I know it's true.
Uh-huh.
Then I went in the shirt factory. I knew mostly all the girls. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
liked that.
Who was your foreman?
Downey.
Oh, all right.
Remember him?
Yes.
Remember Downey?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
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 Well, who was the
He
other
was
man?
nice.
Who, I thought there was a
Seymour.
No, he's the owner,
Walter.
Seymour. Walter, and isn't
Walter.
Walter related to you?
It
Oh,
was-
to-
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
to Pesh.
He died, you
My
know, got a
cousin.
heart attack.
Yeah, his sister married, my cousin.
Yeah. He was a nice guy.
Yeah, he
nice
was
man.
nice.
And not his wife.
Walter?
I heard she's a son of a gun, his wife. Is she?
Well,
Rose.
she worked, I didn't know her that good. She
No, I
worked in a
didn't.
shirt factory, but then she quit when I got the job. So I didn't know her that good. Yeah, I didn't know her that good, Mary.
So, Rose, how long did you stay in the shirt factory? How long did you work there?
Oh, I worked in shirt factory until I got married. And
When'd you get
then
married?
Huh?
When'd you get married?
April 22nd. 1944.
And how many children?
We married 51 years. We have 2 children, Angelo and grandmother of 2 children, Rosa and Michael.
And what are they doing now?
And you have 2
Rosa's
dogs.
in Boston. Rosa's in Boston,
Going to school?
going to school, working in the summertime for a lawyer.
In Boston?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
and,
good.
she also has a job at the desk in the dormitory, in the school. And,
How old is Michael?
Michael will be 16 in January.
Oh.
Rose is 21, she'll
Gonna
be
be 20.
21 in September. And I'm getting old.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Jennifer was 21 in,
She'll be 22 this.
Oh, yeah,
October.
yeah, they're the same age.
yeah.
I think they're born this,
No,
September
No, a year.
22nd.
Jenny's
Jennifer's a little older.
A little older?
Yeah.
Oh. Where
What
does
year
she
was she
work?
born? 70.
Where's Jennifer working?
She just graduated from college,
Oh,
and right now she's working for the Ravens,
oh,
baseball.
baseball. Oh,
And
that's good.
do you have any other grandchildren,
Mhm.
Mary?
No, I just have 2.
Who other than Jennifer?
Richard.
Oh. How old
Ricky.
Is How old is Ricky?
Ricky is
Cute, it's cute.
Nah,
26.
I think so, right. And where does he work?
Knights of Columbus.
Oh, yeah? Oh.
Do you have any children that produce those 2 grandchildren? You.
Yeah, 2 daughters.
Oh.
Judy and Louise. God bless them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say.
And now, God bless them.
And now, how did you 2 ladies get together today?
Ooh.
You 2.
Joanne told me I was coming here.
Are you next door neighbors?
Right, right.
Oh, yes.
Next door neighbors
But we
again.
never see one of them.
I know it. Terrible.
Well, maybe.
I don't know, I'm always running around for one thing or another, either to a doctor for this or a doctor for that. I know.
Well, you both
But-
look very good.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate, I think we learned a great deal tonight, right,
Oh,
Joanne?
yes, very nice.
Yeah. So
All
you
right.
probably know more than me because, yeah.
Yes, I'm
yeah.
older.
Well, I mean, you know, the family
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
You know, just a few things that they used to tell me.
Let's get this now. What?
Oh,
How are we related?
now, your Uncle Tony
Yeah.
married your Aunt
Julia.
Julia. So that would make you 2 first cousins by marriage.
No.
No, because the uncle. What is it again?
Her Uncle Tony.
My Uncle Tony married her mother's sister.
Now, her mother's niece.
Oh,
It is
Oh,
not. And
sister.
Julia was my mother's sister.
sister.
Half sister.
All right,
That
now
was a
wait a minute.
sister.
Right, so your Uncle Tony was your mother's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So wouldn't that make their
Sure.
children first
Yeah.
cousins?
Cousins, right, first cousins.
So you're first cousin with her first cousin, but you're not first cousins to each other? Do you get, all right, let's see.
It's just,
Well, relate it to your own family. It's
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, I'm
like
trying to
Allie
think
was
who.
my brother-in-law.
All right,
Yeah,
right.
and
now
there's
let's-
another
it's
case
from
there.
All right, so
in-law.
your nephew,
Yeah.
Alexander Caruso,
Mm.
married your
My
sister-in-law,
sister-in-law.
Helen Pompano.
Right, right.
That doesn't make them related. though.
No,
No.
but that, I still think with your uncle marrying your aunt,
Oh, yeah, that's a relation right there.
Your uncle?
Yeah.
No, we weren't.
My-
Yeah, then your cousin. Right?
My cousin?
No, we're not cousins.
Not really
No,
cousins.
no.
but your cousins too, you have the same cousins. So
We
you're,
have the same cousin, but we're not cousins.
Yes.
Yeah.
so your Uncle Tony's children are your first cousins,
First cousin.
and they're your first
Your
cousins.
Yes,
first cousin,
yeah.
But you
yeah.
two
Yeah.
are not
and then-
first
Yeah,
cousins.
it's
Yeah.
like in-law
Yes.
Yeah.
How did they
Like the
get all
Emmys.
the money to come to the United States, you know?
Gee, we have to ask them.
I mean, was it
We
expensive?
had to ask them then. I didn't know.
must
I
have
guess they must have borrowed it and then they paid it back, I guess, something like that.
Yeah, it was a small village, all hills and everything. Angie
Why did they
said.
come here, did they ever say?
Because
Well,
they,
it's better here, they
sure,
thought.
better.
Yeah.
This was the land of opportunity.
Yeah. This was for the things to come. Which, see, that everything is changing.
Rose, would you ever want to go and visit in Italy?
Oh yeah, if I,
Yeah.
I would love to go, but not at my age. I don't think I'd like to go now. No, I'm afraid of planes. Mm.
Take a boat.
I
They'd
love
like to let that
I
boat.
love the planes, but when I get down on the ground,
I kiss the ground.
It took
Just
them
the ground.
15 years, 15 days to come to America on the boat.
before, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And my mother said she got sick every single day.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure, because I get sick.
Yeah.
It's in our
I
family.
think my mother married my father in Italy. She came first, and then he came. Because they were married in Italy.
Yeah?
That's what they said.
I don't know. That I don't know.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
your
And so
mother,
then your mother lived with her mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then she came first, and then he came.
now why was she living with your family? What was the connection there?
Well, I guess they knew one another.
Because they
and
came from the
they
same,
had-
okay.
Didn't you say your mother landed in Boston though?
She, yeah, I think that's where she landed in Boston. She went to North Adams to live, and I know that she always said she lived there for a while. I don't know. Your cousin lived up there, didn't
My
he?
aunt.
Tony? Yeah. What was his name? Anthony? What was his name?
Tony Malua?
No.
Tony Caruso.
Tony Cruz. Yeah. Didn't he live up there? Who was it? They used to come and see us all the time and used to say to us, I'm from North Adams. Who was related to you.
That must have been my cousin, the Malillos.
Oh. Oh, I didn't know. See, I thought it was a person.
No.
Oh, I didn't. See, I was younger. I didn't know
Yes,
all
right.
this.
Are you older than your brother Joe, or is he older?
I'm the youngest in the family.
Oh, you're the youngest in the family. Oh.
Did your parents speak just Italian or just
Well, my
Italian?
father used to speak, you know how the Italian, broken English.
What
Oh,
about,
my mother didn't know nothing.
My mother didn't know nothing either.
Mhm.
My father didn't even know how to write his name. He used to make a J like this, backwards. You know, he tried to.
No, my father was pretty well, my mother, she knew how to write her name and that's it, but she didn't know how to.
what about the story about your father going to the service for his brother?
Oh, yeah, well, that was in Italy.
You went to the service for your brother? Yeah. For
Yeah,
his brother.
for his brother.
Yeah?
Because my uncle, was called, and he had 5 or 6 kids, because he used to have 12 children. So my father was single and he went for
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
I know,
Yeah.
didn't I?
Oh, Jay.
Why, was there a war on?
Yeah.
World War One?
No, that was before our time, I don't know what the hell it was.
No, it had to be if he
It
came
had to be
here,
the unification of Italy.
I mean,
Yeah,
1898 years ago when their mother and
Even
father.
more earlier
So
than
it
that.
must have been about 1890. I wonder when it. Well, no, it couldn't have been because he was young when he came here. How
Yeah.
old was he in 1898? Well, he was 81 when he died, and he died in 1956.
Maybe about 17, 18, when he came to America.
But we had to be older than that, Mom.
And your and the grandparents stayed there, or did they ever come over?
No, no, they came here.
Oh, they did.
My grandfather used to go back and forth.
Which one, Caruso or Streeter?
Wall Street at Russell, he stayed in Italy.
What about your grandparents? Did they ever come here?
I don't think so. I never
Yeah.
knew them.
Oh, so you never knew your
I never knew
grandparents?
them, no.